Good morning. I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you. Going to spend some time talking to you about you and your business. One of my favorite segments is my time I get to spend with Paul Carroll. He's with a really interesting financial management firm. I consider cutting edge in the way it does things, and I consider Paul Carroll a thought leader in the process. It's Efficient Wealth Management. I'll tell you early on, it's efficientwealthmanagement.com. And Paul, you've got a great story. Why don't you real quickly kind of give us your elevator speech, and then it looks like you got another great guest lined up. So I'm looking forward to it as usual.
Well, thank you, and good morning. Efficient Wealth Management is a boutique wealth management firm based here in the Woodlands, Texas. And what sets us apart is, in addition to providing great investment consulting, is we help our clients protect their wealth, mitigate their taxes, take care of their heirs, protect their assets from being unjustly taken, and maximize the impact of charitable giving if that's important to them.
Yep, very good. And your guest today?
Today I'm introducing Michael Martin and James Stillwell. They're attorneys, the lead attorneys at Martin, Earl and Stillwell here in the Woodlands. They're a great law firm, and when we say we work with a team of experts, Michael Martin and James Stillwell are included in that team of experts that we help support our clients.
Michael, why don't you start off by kind of giving us the elevator speech about your firm?
Well, thank you, Kevin. I work with wealthy families, and essentially what I do is help them avoid financial train wrecks.
Very good.
We do that through. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. It sounded like you have more there. I thought you were done. Go right ahead.
Well, we do that through wealth transfer planning, tax savings, asset protection, and probate avoidance.
Very good. Go ahead, Paul, your questions?
So, congratulations, Michael, on the Texas Monthly 2015 Super Lawyer Award that you just received. Tell me, is this a pay-to-play type award, or is this a rigorous process? Is this really a valuable award?
It is incredibly valuable, Paul. It is not a pay-to-play. It is measured and given out based on some very rigorous requirements.
Can you kind of elaborate on what some of those requirements are?
Well, you have to reach a certain level of proficiency. You have to be recommended and supported by a number of your peers and recognized within your area of practice as an expert. Very good, Paul.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I was aware of that, and I just wanted to give you the opportunity to get that out there. Now, I also understand that you're involved in this thing called the Wills for Heroes project. What is that?
James, you want to speak to that? You were actually a primary mover in that program.
Sure. Good morning. This is James, and the Wills for Heroes program is a program that we developed because so many of our law enforcement friends, whether they're police officers, firefighters, or first responders of any kind, put their lives on the line for us, and so many of them have not done proper estate planning work. So we felt like it was the least that we could do to provide them with a free set of estate planning documents so that if their family has an unfortunate circumstance, at least we have that covered for them.
Yeah, and and law enforcement is not only a dangerous, it's just a stressful business. I was reading some articles on the mortality rates of those in law enforcement, and so it's I've seen some studies that suggest this in the 50s is the average age for those in law enforcement, which that just seems crazy, and so all the more reason why they need to be prepared. Paul?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and what you do is a great service to them. James, now you're very involved in the Woodlands. What do you and your firm love about our community here?
Well, our community is a fast-growth, well-planned community that has all of the amenities of a urban town, but still a small-town feel. So for our wills, trusts, guardianship, real estate, and business litigation practice, we can do high-quality work with a small-town local feel.
Well, that's interesting. And, with that, Michael, how long have you guys been in practice?
Oh, 6 or 7 years, James, together, but individually much, much longer.
Yeah, very good. Go ahead, Paul.
And Michael, tell me, what makes your firm stand out in the Woodlands? What makes you different?
I think the way we approach our practice, Paul, we are a people-centered, relationship-based practice, and people come first with us, and we are very, very sensitive to the families, the relationships, the needs of a particular engagement. And as I've shared with you earlier, in some cases, I am now 3 generations deep with some of the families that I work with. It's a really rich and delightful and rewarding practice.
Do you want to mention real quickly that the website for your firm is meslawfirm.com, meslawfirm.com. Paul?
Yeah, I've known these guys for a while now. They have a great practice. James is understating what he does for the community. He actually is one of the leaders of the organization called Leadership Montgomery County, which is an organization devoted to creating the next generation of leaders for the community here. And James, thank you for that, for what you do for us here.
Well, thank you. It is a true joy, and part of that work is, like Michael said, part of the human relationship side that is so important to us. We're invested here. We love it here. We live here. We work here. And we want it to be great out into the future for our kids as well as for us.
Yeah, and I think this is such a very timely thing that you're involved in and what you do in terms of helping making sure that people are taken care of in this important area. Talk a little bit about how pervasive of a problem this is and how often, and I'll address this to James, where things end up in probate and really they end up the biggest beneficiary being, bureaucracy and government and lawyers rather than the families that should have been taken care of with a will. Talk a little bit about that, James.
Yeah, absolutely right, Kevin. And inside our practice, Michael referringly, jokingly calls me the janitor. That is, when there's a mess, it's my job to clean it up. And unfortunately, a lot of those messes that I see, Kevin, are folks that have not done the proper work to put together even a simple will, or to work with a good financial advisor like Paul or a good planner like Michael. And the unfortunate result of that is a whole lot more time and mess and court intervention and lawyers' fees when just a small bit of work on the front end could prevent all of it.
Paul, we got about a minute left, and again, you're with efficientwealthmanagement.com and another great segment. Why don't you wrap it up for us?
Absolutely. So, as I said at the beginning, we help our clients protect their wealth, mitigate their taxes, take care of their heirs, and protect their assets from being unjustly taken. A huge part of the heavy lifting in those elements is conducted by Michael and James. These are the heavy lifters behind the scenes. They do great work, and it's amazing how few people are prepared in these different aspects. So, I personally thank you both for your contribution and appreciate it.
Yep, very good. Thanks to all of you gentlemen. It was a great segment. When we come back, we're going to have much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here does show up over there at usdailyreview.com. While you're there, make sure you like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter.